Well, hello there, friends. I'm Bill. This is Take the Bill, where we take the Bill of Rights, hold it to our chest, and hold it dear to our hearts. Um, I was watching something. I started watching it, and I thought you guys might be interested, so I'm going to go ahead and post it. Post this. I'm just going to be reacting a little bit. So here we go. We're going to switch on over. This is Kevin 24/7. I hope that he uh gets lots of clicks and likes. Let this video go viral, like he says. I'll go ahead and start it, and I'll be quiet for the most part. Let's watch. And just remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Ain't gonna hurt nothing. Doesn't cost anything. One of the few things free in life. So, here we go.
Sure would be a shame if this video went viral because the left would definitely not appreciate us sharing this. What I'm going to show you guys in just a moment here. And actually, uh, I got two clips I want to show you and a post that some of you may or may not remember or have never seen before. And first, I want to say welcome back, everyone, for returning. And if you're new here, welcome for the first time. Hit that like button, subscribe if you like the video, of course, and subscribe if you want to stay connected, have my videos pop up on your feed, and turn on notifications too, as well. And this first one is from CNN, and it's Abby Phillips and Scott Jennings going back and forth. This one in particular is about the Wisconsin Supreme Court election, Supreme Court judge election. But more importantly, it's really about buying votes. Now, granted, Abby wants to create this idea that Elon Musk is spending millions of dollars buying votes, and this ridiculous comparison of Elon to George Soros. But I'm not going to say that Elon Musk is buying votes. I will agree with Scott Jennings and his take, of course, obviously, because it makes sense. It's just common sense. It's purely based. But really, if you think about it, and you guys chime in, let me know your thoughts. The Democrats, the left, delusional, of course. Okay, they want to stand on this perception, this false reality that they're not buying votes. So instead, they set up free concerts. Not that it really mattered. Like anybody really wanted to see Meg the Stallion twerking on stage. Obviously not. At least not enough people that really mattered. It's almost like the crowd, the audience that they bust in were just as uninterested in Megan the Stallion, as the crowd that they bust in recently for Tim Walz, as he tried to create some form of comedic relief, resonating with being an old white guy.
My question is, how do we speak about and plan for the inclusivity and diversity of opinion that we need to rebuild this country when those terms are being so demonized by the people holding power right now?
Well, Sammy, thank you. And to all the young people who are here, I just pause for a moment and look around and look at, I'm especially talking about these old white guys who seem to disappoint us on a regular basis in this country, but not this group.
I mean, the absolute embarrassment, the lack of self-awareness. He's still trying to engage in the identity politics that the American public outright rejected. And what's even worse is the data already showed that white males were tired of the constant attacks and demonization from the left. How can they possibly expect to bring back the male voting population if at every chance they get, they demonize them? And does he not understand the irony of talking about how old white men ruin the country, but yet he's an old white man? Just imagine the self-hatred you have to have for yourself in order to do something like that. And let me throw a screenshot of that crowd he was talking to up on the screen. He was saying, hey, young people, listen here. There is not a single young person in this entire crowd that he's talking to. That just proves that his message was overly rehearsed. He was relying on a crowd full of young people who were going to erupt in laughter at the old white guy willing to make a joke at his own expense that he knew would resonate with a radical, racist, white male hating base. Imagine being a white person and even considering being a Democrat when the primary requirement is you have to have a deep self-loathing for yourself.
Only to have a crowd full of old white people, old white men for the most part, and it just went completely over their heads. They were not interested in that. And this is why they don't get the votes. This is why they don't earn the votes. This is why they have lost and continue to lose. Now, granted, Wisconsin is a little bit of a different story, but that, who knows? Maybe that'll be overturned. Maybe those votes won't really count. But Elon's not buying votes. Elon is definitely putting his money where his mouth is and supporting a good cause, trying to keep this country from falling completely apart. But the left, Democrats, okay, well, if they're not buying votes, how dare Elon Musk offer anybody $1 million, 7-figure check? What if George Soros did that? Well, what if George Soros paid protesters to show up at these rallies, the hands off, and all that other bullshit that's going on?
Feels like it, right? That said, may I suggest that you go to bed kind of early, hydrate, eat your Wheaties in the morning, maybe put off the Friday night cocktail to make it a Saturday night cocktail this week, if at all. I'm only saying that because tomorrow is going to be very busy. Saturday is going to be very busy. I said at the top of the show, there are more than 1,200 protests planned for tomorrow in all 50 states. I stand corrected. It is more than 1,300 protests planned in more than in all 50 states. It's expected to be the largest single day of protest since Donald Trump took office.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like. This is what it looks like. We've seen a lot of people cave to fascism in America. We're not. We've seen the CEOs cave. Will you cave? We've seen the law firms cave. Will you cave? We've seen the colleges cave. Will you cave? We can't cave.
Joining us now is
These
Ezra
people
Levin. He's
are
co-founder of Indivisible, which is one of the groups that is promoting these events tomorrow. Ezra, thanks very much for joining us tonight. You were here just a couple of 3 weeks ago talking about the earliest idea for April 5th being sort of a hub for events all over the country and in Washington. How has the organizing gone? What has the response been compared to what you expected?
These are
Gosh,
paid
Rachel, it's been
protesters from
incredible.
these
Can I just say
people.
it has been incredible. We knew when we announced 3 weeks ago on the show that this was going to be the week where we saw an election in Wisconsin. We were cautiously optimistic about that election in Wisconsin for the Supreme Court. We didn't know we were going to kick Elon Musk's butt all across the state, but we were cautiously optimistic. We also didn't know that Cory Booker was going to give this incredible speech, inspiring all of us and telling us that he was taking a stand in response to pushes from his own constituents. We also didn't know that Donald Trump was going to launch a global attack on the economies of not our economy, but the global economy. This confluence of events, this sense that they are overreaching so much and there is a possibility to fight back and win, is leading to this just incredible response. As you said, more than 1,300 events every single state. Yes, there are over 100 events in California. There are more than 60 in the state of New York, more than 50 in Washington. But it's not just blue states, Rachel. We see 17 events across the state of Montana, 14 across Alaska. This is everywhere. We're not just talking about one event in every state. We're talking about multiple, sometimes dozens of events. And these are normal, everyday people who are saying, hey, I've had enough.
Hey friends, I just passed the Dunkin' Donuts, which is the most vague possible location I could possibly give you in Massachusetts. But besides being near a Dunkin' Donuts, which places me somewhere in Massachusetts, I mentioned I'm at the Hands Off Boston March, and it is the slowest march I have ever been in, and I could not be more happy about that, because that means that the streets between the park and City Hall are entirely filled with people who are here because they're very angry about what's going on, about Trump and fascism trying to take this wonderful country with all these wonderful people, and there are great chants going on. Immigrant.
No, they're not. They're there because they're paid. And I've been watching the news and watching all these other places. These are definitely organizations that organize these protests and pay these people. And I even seen one, I can't remember exactly who it was. I can't remember who it was showing it, but they asked a person who's paying for this, and they said, "Oh, George Soros is paying for this. Who's paying for yours?" So that was that. So let's get going here again. It might just take a second. These people are dry humping my last nerves. I'm telling you.
Welcome here. Trans people are welcome here. Trans kids are welcome here. This is fucking Massachusetts, kid. Get your fucking hands off of it. All right, I'll say hi some more later, if I can manage to post this. Bye.
I've seen institutions fall. I've seen the universities. I've seen businesses. I've seen law firms not stand up, not support our liberal democracy. So what am I going to do as an individual? Well, I'm going to do my part. I'm going to show up. That's what tomorrow is about. And it's, gosh, Rachel, it is inspiring to see so many people hop on board this train.
The theme under which this is sort of loosely organized is hands off. I've seen people use all sorts of different types of phrasing around the different types of protests that they're going to be part of, and it seems like it's lots of different groups who are organizing, and in some cases it's no groups, it's just individual people who are coming out with their friends and neighbors. But it seems like the hands-off messaging is the most overarching phrase that we're going to hear tomorrow, the most overarching idea, right?
One of the beautiful things about this is it's meeting people where they are. We're all coming to this for a different reason. We can say, hands off the Department of Education, hands off our Social Security, hands off our Medicaid, hands off trans kids, hands off our communities, hands off our civil rights, hands off our democracy. Different things are bringing different people to this fight. That's good. That's okay. We can all come together and say no. And that's what we're going to see tomorrow.
Yeah, popular front. Very, 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 very big tent. If for some reason you don't like what Donald Trump is doing to the country, there's a very large tent that is open to you, and people are going to be...
What are we protesting today?
Donald Trump.
Well, what's Donald Trump doing that we're protesting?
Well, he is fucking up the American democracy right now and trying to kind of repeal a bunch of shit in the Constitution, like, rights and liberties, so...
Is there anything in specific that he's...
I don't have all the information, but I do know.
What are you against?
Personally, I'm against tyrants. I'm against tyranny. That's what I'm against.
What is that?
somebody who's coming in and trying to take over the country and get rid of the rules and regulations that have existed for centuries to keep us citizens safe.
And who do you think is doing that?
Currently, Donald Trump and Elon Musk and all of his cabinet members.
Why Elon Musk though?
The Department of Government Efficiency, he was put in charge of a department that doesn't even exist before this, and he's not even an American.
Who's not an American?
Elon Musk.
Okay.
He's from South Africa. I don't know if you knew that.
How do you feel about Donald Trump?
I think that he deserves to die.
You should what?
Die.
Okay. All right.
That's how I feel.
So who do you want to run the?
It's funny because these groups are all for open borders, no borders, all for illegal immigration, undocumented, yet want to claim Elon Musk isn't even an American. He's from South Africa.
You want to run America?
The people, preferably.
You want the people to run America?
Like a democracy should be, yes.
Do you feel like the people voted for him?
I think the people were fooled.
Fooled by who?
Him.
How?
I don't,
It's
dude.
a false consciousness.
It's a what?
It's a false consciousness.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, what do you mean by that? They were fooled by, the people were fooled to vote for President Trump, apparently because of a false consciousness. Was the entire country under some hallucinogen? Fooled by a man who campaigned on the exact same things that he's actually doing as president?
Okay, so the.
Can I see your sign?
Can you see it?
No, I'm sitting right here.
To the camera.
No, to the camera, brother.
I'm talking to you.
But I'm interviewing. I got a mic.
I don't care about that.
You decided to talk.
I'm here as an individual.
Individual.
I'm here as an individual.
Okay.
I'm talking to you as an individual.
Okay. Well, I want to see the sign. If you have a sign.
Read the sign.
Okay. All right. What's the sign say? What does the sign say? Hold on, brother. What does the sign?
You go out of your way.
All people are children
How about that?
of the earth.
Yeah, all people are children of the earth. Can you disagree with that? Can you disagree with
No,
that?
I can't disagree.
What do you got to say about that?
Why is he so mad? Why did he get so triggered so quickly? Being an individual here at this protest, holding a sign, in theory, you would want people to see, yet he doesn't want to show the sign. But I guess now the other blaring question that stands out to me is, why is this other guy open carrying during this protest?
And disagree.
Me neither.
I love that, brother. Yeah. All people are people of the earth. I love that, man. Or better
Did you
yet,
see that?
They don't even have to use any money at all. None whatsoever. Just import voters from other countries. Then eliminate any form of voter ID requirement. And then in some instances say, you don't even have to be a citizen of this country to vote in our elections. Yeah. And Abby Phillips here wants to make the comparison and connect Elon to George Soros and how there's a double standard here. Hardly the case. And Elon Musk, he says like clockwork in response to Doge Designer having put this up that says, whatever's happening today, from the Tesla violence funded by the left to the media's dirty campaigns, Elon Musk predicted it all 3 years ago. And here's the post from 3 years ago where Elon said, in the past, I voted Democrat because they were mostly the kindness party, but they have become the party of division and hate. So I can no longer support them and will vote Republican. Now watch their dirty tricks campaign against me unfold. Popcorn emoji. May 19, 2022.
Wow.
But as I said, delusional as they lie to your face on national TV. We'll start with Jake Tapper in this quick little segment here of him trying to pretend that he is not actually a Democrat.
You've got 2 days of data. Everyone, especially on your side, on the left, is freaking out.
I'm not on the left.
But at the end of the day, listen, this whole concept, all right, Jay, thank you. This whole concept is about rebuilding an American economy around American goods.
But this isn't the first time that they've lied. It's damn sure won't be the last. And it's ironic because it's only after the fact. And then that is proven. But because this is their network, because this is their channel, and somehow, some way, Scott Jennings continues to be allowed to return to push back. But I guess if it was purely just one-sided, then it would be like MSNBC, and then nobody would watch it. So Scott has to stay for now. Unless Scott chose to leave, which I think would be amazing if he just decided to walk away. And wherever he ended up would definitely take off and blow up. But here's just another one of their lies. But this one gets checked. This one gets called out. So watch this. Let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, like the video. And I'll see you on the next one.
Do you think that there was always a risk that voters were going to say, that's not how this country works, and we don't like that? And some of that backlash, no question, hurt the Republicans.
What do you mean that's not how this country works? People don't donate money to political campaigns?
No. What I'm saying is that the idea that a billionaire hands people checks for votes is not how the country works.
I don't think that's accurate. He wasn't handing people checks.
So if George Soros were to say, oh, I'm going to give away $1 million to a random 5 people who go out and vote on this day, what would you say?
Look, all kinds of billionaires spent money in this race. I think you guys are dramatically overreading the results. A liberal seat stayed in liberal hands and got about the same percentage of the vote as the last Supreme Court race in Wisconsin. It's absolutely true. He stuck his neck out for someone that he thought was important, and you don't win every time you try in politics. I think his electoral record, though, beyond that, is pretty good. Chiefly, I think he was one of the key reasons why Donald Trump got elected president last November. And so, in the pantheon of his political engagements, this is a minor blip compared to the major success of helping Donald Trump regain the White House. He's a great entrepreneur. I think his companies and he personally are getting all sorts of negative attention and even vandalism and all these violent attacks, and it's terrible. I know personally that he's been getting death threats, all for the sin of having been a liberal who decided to support Donald Trump and then go serve in his government for a short period of time. It's outrageous.
That's not true.
Well, people, what do you think of that? Huh? Take a minute to let it sink in. Sometimes we have to do this. I think that video said everything for itself. In my opinion, I agree with everything that was said there. Scott Jennings is one of the best, the only good person that CNN has. Everyone else has these right-wing misunderstanding of things. I'll say it. They're just misunderstanding of things like this. So, hope you liked the video. I liked it. That's why I shared it. Didn't have much to say, just once in a while I cut in there. But, yes, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. I could really use it. And it doesn't cost anything. Okay? I'd appreciate it. And I'm going to be saying goodbye. And I guess I'll be talking to you all later. And yes, that's it, folks. Talk to you later.